Janet Jackson says she and Michael were kindred souls. She absolutely adored him, even though he tormented her with some pretty unflattering nicknames. She writes, "He called me Dunk. I think that came from donkey. A lot of his pet names had to do with my backside, but teasing was part of Mike's humor."
I was close to Mike then, and I was also very close, and still am very close to my brother Randy.
Is that the age thing, because you were the two littlest ones?
It's so funny, Mother always says that Randy and I would fight like cats and dogs. And the minute that I'd have to, like, cross the street, he'd look for me so he can grab my hand to walk me across the street. And so I guess we had, when we were kids, had that love-hate thing. But we're very close.
That's cute.
Today. But yeah, I was very close to Mike.
Is it difficult for you when things about him are in the media? Is that difficult for you and your family? Because that you can't always control. You can control, I don't want to watch this movie, but is it difficult when there's all this stuff out there about him? Because people, you're people. The Jackson family are people. And I think sometimes people, and you've had that experience that you were a kid, that people don't see me as a person.
Yeah, you're human just like everyone else.
You're a person.
Of course it hurts. It hurts me to read or see, hear. Yeah, it can hurt, for sure. You're misunderstood. You really are. And one thing you may say, or the way something's written, or they may just put a little bit of a different twist on it. It's like, no, that's not what I meant. I wish they would have asked. Then I really would have explained myself. That's not what I meant. That's not how I meant it. So it becomes difficult. It really does.
I can't imagine that it's not.
But look, I'm very blessed. I'm very thankful. I have a wonderful life, and I'm very fortunate.
Janet has grown as an actress partly through the films of her friend Tyler Perry. One of her most difficult and moving roles was Jo in For Colored Girls.
I'm not sorry, greet me at the front door. You can keep yours.
There was some really, really emotional stuff in there. Where do you go here or here? Where do you go to pull off scenes like that?
Different places. One, for sure, is trying to tap into the character and where she is at that moment in her life. What would she be feeling? What would you feel if you were dealing with this, knowing that you have this issue? Your husband's doing that. How would that make you feel? And what was it like for me? What was I feeling? Would she be feeling that at that moment? So it's in a really, really deep place, a deep space that's incredibly draining.
All that from someone who wanted to act originally, took this long singing path, and then came back right back to it, right?
Everyone thought, oh, well, you're giving up performing and singing. You're giving up music for acting now, and that's not the case at all.
You can do both.
Of course, just took a break. Just took a break from music for a minute because I wanted to do something that I had been dying to do for a long, long time.
You've worked with him, Tyler Perry.
He's incredibly talented. And he said he's always been a fan and wanted to work with me, and we finally got the opportunity to do so. And he seems to touch the hearts of women. And not just women, but men as well. But he's really understanding a woman being a man. And that's really special to me. Because, you know, you wonder how they really don't get us. As they say about us, right? They really don't get us. And Tyler's he's really tapped into that. And I really enjoy the work that we've done together. And wonderful to be on the set with. It's very much so a family, and there's a connection there.
Tell me about your program.
20 Under 20?
Yes.
I wanted to pay homage, to bring light to our youth, the younger generation, kids under the age of 20. You look at TV today, and it's just chaos. What's going on in the world, and it's so sad. It's depressing, and what you see on CNN even all the time, and I wanted to hear something, to see something positive, and when you do, normally it's with adults, if you do. But I wanted to bring light to the younger generation, so decided to ask teachers, parents, friends to nominate, to go to, once again, janetjackson.com and nominate 5 youths, 5 kids under the age of 20 that have brought, enriched their community in some sort of way, and you know, a positive light, and I wanted to eventually I will pick 20 kids from each city, and to do this in each city and pick 20 kids from each city and have them come to the show, and also the person that nominated them.
That's fantastic.
The ones that nominated them, and come see the show and spend a little time with them backstage after the show. So it'll be fun, and just to meet them and talk to them about what they've done, how they've enriched the lives of others around them.
Sometimes people underestimate young people, but you've been an adult since you were a child.
A child, right?
Haven't you?
Yeah, I had to grow very quickly.
Yeah.
That's why I still act like a kid today.
Coming up, what someone told Janet that really shocked her.
I thought, wow.
Thanks for that.
And it wasn't a good day to begin with.
Plus, what Janet sees when she looks in the mirror now and the moment that changed her life forever. You're watching Janet Jackson, the HLN interview. Janet says her childhood was all about work and the family business came first. She had to put on her game face all the time, no matter what she was feeling.
There's a lot of pain, a lot of stuff going on inside, much deeper issues going on underneath. And sometimes it says a lot too. You know, you might have friends that are constantly giggling and laughing and thising and thating, and that's saying something as well. There's something a lot deeper going on underneath all of that. Sometimes.
So this is why you kind of took a bit of a risk and put so much personal stuff in this book, because you're trying to reach people.
Not an autobiography, but I do tell stories.
Sometimes people don't think of you as people, but I can't imagine someone saying, well, in person, you don't really look like you do.
They do on TV.
What is that about? Somebody said that to you.
Yeah, they did. But it's, you know, I've had someone say that to me and say, you're really attractive. You look better in person. Then I had someone tell me that, but the expression on their face, I thought, wow.
Thanks for that.
And it wasn't a good day to begin with, so it just made it even worse.
It's been quite a journey for Janet, and she has advice for folks out there struggling with their own lives, their own ups and downs, which aren't always that different from hers. She says there's a way through it.
It's about really loving who you are and finding that place within you, working through those issues and getting a hold of it all, getting it under grips and really learning how to deal with those issues in order to be able to have a healthy life.
When you look in the mirror now, who do you see? Physically, whatever you want to describe, when you look in the mirror now, who do you see?
I see someone who has come a very, very long way, who is still work in progress, but who has grown tremendously, tremendously.
It seemed from what I've gathered from what you said that the way you got there, and maybe what someone could learn from you, the way you got there was by finally opening up about things. And
yes,
that's how you got there.
What it's all about, and that's why I wrote this book. Everyone asks about, and granted, it is about the weight loss and the weight gain and the workout regimen and the nutrition aspect of it, but also it stemmed from my childhood, and I wanted people to know that. And for kids, like I said, kids and teens, and how I got to that point, and then how to get to this point. At least for me, I'm not an expert. But this is what worked for me, and my life changed when I opened up, when I spoke up, when I opened that mouth and that broad smile that I've learned, to love now, which I mean, that was another thing. I didn't like my smile. But when I opened my mouth and reached out and spoke to someone who I knew would listen, that's when my life began to change for the better.
A life lived in front of the cameras, but behind that beautiful smile, a lot of pain. Well, today, Janet's a new woman. She has found a way to free herself, she says, by opening up and speaking up. And she hopes others can too.
I'm Rochelle Carey. Thank you for joining us. Good night.